Thank you so much for joining the call. This is a call on Uzbekistan. So, we do these fam calls once in 2 weeks. Uzbekistan, we will be doing it in the first week of November. So, I just wanted to start with as to, what is Uzbekistan? So, 1991, 15 countries were formed after, glasnost and perestroika during Gorbachev's time. And this is how it was split. So before 1991, you didn't need a visa to go to, or a Russian didn't need a visa to go to Georgia or Armenia or Uzbekistan or Kazakhstan or whatever. So these were the 15 countries which were newly formed after Russia, I don't say split. I mean, different countries were formed out of Russia. Now, why is Uzbekistan so exciting and so thrilling? So this is the route of the Silk Route. This is a map of the Silk Route, rather. Now, Silk Route was an important, very important thing in earlier times. So this was the route from China to Europe, to basically Rome. So Silk Route is like, a lot of small routes came in between and then they formed the Silk Route. And one of the major hubs were, which are places now there in Uzbekistan, which is Tashkent, Samarkand, Bukhara, Kiev at the end. So this is just to tell you that, what was Silk Route and how Uzbekistan, which is somewhere here, it falls into, it was a very important part of Silk Route. So then I also added the new book by William Dalrymple. It's called The Golden Road, where he spoke about. He said the Silk Route was very important, but the Golden Road. This is the Golden Road which went from. Why India was so important? India was pretty much in between. So right from the west to the southeast of Asia. This is called the Golden Road, and it's a fabulous book written by William Dalrymple. So I just wanted to give you a perspective on Silk Route and Golden Road, so we understand it better. Now, where is Uzbekistan on the world map? So Uzbekistan, as you see, it is somewhere here on the left. So this sea, Aral Sea, okay, this sea no longer exists. I mean, this is one of the greatest environment tragedies of the world. So there were two tributaries of Volga, which was feeding into Aral Sea. And because of, whatever reason, Russia wanted more water for irrigation. So they kind of, diverted those two rivers. And this river now is, just a slash of muddy land. It used to be the fourth largest lake in the world. So now, because of this, Uzbekistan is a double locked country. So apart from Liechtenstein, right, which is there in Europe, it's double locked. Double locked means that to reach the oceans, it has to go through another country, right? So they don't have any direct access to the sea or the ocean. So RLC one the tributaries were cut off. The second is doesn't drain out into an ocean. So technically, it's not a sea, right? So, anyways, it's no longer there. So, this is a double locked country. That is why it is tricky. And in the sense that wherever they want to go, they have to cross two countries and go. It's a big country. It's around, 1.25, a quarter more than Rajasthan, which is the biggest state in India. The population is just 4 crores. Rajasthan population is more than 8 crores, right? So it's sparsely populated like any other West Asian country. The main economy being minerals there. So our tour starts from 1st of November. So we go to Tashkent first. Then we fly to Kiev. So we go to Tashkent, we see places there. I'll just touch on the places where we are going because then otherwise, you lose the thrill kind of. It is mentioned in the document and I'll touch those. So we do sightseeing in Tashkent. There is a mountain there, which I'll show you. We do one day on the mountains, and then we go to a place called Khiva, which is on the western side. Now, Khiva is one of the oldest cities again of Uzbekistan, and they have a UNESCO World Heritage Site called Ichan Khila. So we'll do a walking tour there. Khiva, interestingly, is the birthplace. So in Ichan Khila, there is a monument of that person. His name was Al Khwarizmi. And this person, Al Khwarizmi, was a mathematician. and he studied in Baghdad University. And the name algebra comes from Al-Khwarizmi. So algebra's birth is in Khiva, right? So we spent time in Khiva. Then we have arranged a bus which will go till Bukhara. So it's basically to give a flavor of what the other places are. So once you take the road, you understand what how the landscape is. And yeah, in all these places we have a full-fledged English-speaking good guide. We come to Bukhara. Then we take a train to Samarkand. Oh, there are fast trains there. It's called Afrosiab. So we take that train to Samarkand. And then from Samarkand, we go to Tashkent and get back. So this is basically the route which we are following in Uzbekistan. Any questions still here?
No, it's clear. It's clear, Rajesh.
Okay. So this is yeah. So my point was that why Uzbekistan and what is the beauty of Uzbekistan? It's a Central Asian republic, lot of history, was on the Silk Route. Silk Route itself has tons of stories, right? I mean, there were so many spies on the Silk Route and how countries were divided. Because see, even you have these straight lines, right? This is a problem with West Asia and even uh, how Israel and those West countries were divided after those. So you just sat in a room and you drew straight lines and countries were divided, right? That's the tragedy. That's why these areas are still very unstable. So now what does the so I told you
Okay,
it is
maybe just one question I had, like amongst all these Stan countries, how do you rate Uzbekistan compared to say Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan?
tourism wise, Guru, this is on number one. Lot of places,
Okay.
I'm sure they are all, but yeah, those are basically oil-rich countries, right? Kazakhstan and but this is right at the center, and it has these three, four major places also. So Uzbekistan is the one which a lot of tourists prefer to go. Okay. So I told you about the heart, then about the father of algebra, and this was the place where Tamerlane conquered. He was a brutal ruler who killed a lot of people, but he was a super powerful ruler. And it is the land of pilaf and samsas. Any idea what is pilaf and what is samsa? Jashri?
Our, our pulao and
Samosas
samosa.
and
Pulao and
biryani.
samosas. You are right.
Pulao, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pilaf is pulao and samsas are our samosas. So summers, it is not ours. That's the point. It's not.
Yeah.
So this is samsas. And these were basically non-vegetarian. It has mutton inside that. We don't have non-vegetarians. There are some non-vegetarian samosa, but we all are habituated, or rather, we eat vegetarian samosa. So this is actually the land of pilaf and samosas. And people who have been there, they said, there are fruits in plenty. I mean, you just get it left, right, and center. It's a great place to have fruits. Basically, those places, have these pomegranates a lot, anar. Then I just wanted to talk about the places. The Tashkent Metro, I mean, metros there are, centers of art. Those are so beautiful. I'll show you some pictures. Of course, it has Soviet architecture and modern urban spaces. Then there's a huge bazaar there, which is an old bazaar. This comes from right from the days when Silk Route was a Silk Route, right? I mean, which was a link between West and East. So this bazaar is still the old bazaar. Then there is the Timur Square, which again has a mosque. Independence Square. Independence Square was actually the place, and it still exists. It was at the center. That was the center for the Silk Road. And then one day we spent in this Chimgan Mountains, which is called Uzbek Switzerland. So it has snow. It has a lot of fir trees. This is basically a great mountain. So we'll spend a day there.
So will that be a trekking kind of thing or
No, no, no.
walking
No, no. We'll go
normal?
by bus or whatever that vehicle is.
Okay.
So this is, the photograph of Tashkent Metro. I mean, Russia and the Central Asian republics. I mean, these were all metros. And basically, I don't know if you've heard about this in Russia, the metro stations go just, deep. That is because those were places where people should have hidden when there was a bomb, right? So those were built with a cause. That's why the majesty of these big, huge ones. And you have to enter, and it's a great path down. And then these are centers of art. So we'll cover some metro stations there. We'll do some metro rides. This is one. This is one of the top of the metros. And this is the mountain, the Chimgan mountain. Then we go to Khiva. I told you Khiva, Ichankala, the walled inner town, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So these are all those typical West Asian countries where you'll have small lanes, traditional houses, madrasas, weaving, ikat, right? Those has something like, old world charm of Turkey. Those all are have a similar kind of, not same, but a similar kind of place. Then sunset and sunrise experience at Khiva. Then, of course, I told you we take a bus to Bukhara. This is Ichan Kala. This is one of the mosques there in Khiva. Then we come to Bukhara. Bukhara is a place where you have 140 protected monuments, and that's a lot, right? Then I told you carpets, embroidery. It was another stop on the Great Silk Road. So this is again places with a lot of mosques, lot of embroidery, a lot of markets, ceramics, right? Those kind of places. And then where caravans stopped, how they spent their night, and how they started their journey back. So these are all great stories as well. So this is called the Poi Kalyan complex. This is a mosque there. Then we come to Samarkand. I mean, everybody knows about Samarkand because it was a pearl of the Silk Road, right? Tashkent, Samarkand, Bukhara, Khiva. That's how it is. And Tamerlane's grandson, his name was Ulugh Beg. He was a great scientist. So he has an observatory. There is an observatory which he had constructed and which is a great tourist site there. So maybe we'll learn more about Ulugh Beg once we are there. So this is an old city, like first settlers dated as far as back as 15,000 BC, and one of the best preserved cities along the Silk Road. So this is Registan Square, the most popular landmark in Bukhara, in Samarkand, sorry. This is the market. This is an existing market there. So you can see a lot of tourists around. And that's the itinerary I've pretty much covered. So this is the tour to Uzbekistan. Now I'll come to the details. So when we go there, it would be winter. It would be 10 to 22 degrees during day and 10 to 2 degrees in the night. Visas, you get e-visas. You have direct flights from Mumbai to Tashkent. The package is only breakfast. Vegetarian food is available there, but at some places you may have to, survive on fruits and breads and that kind of stuff. Basically, kiva. And currency, the Uzbek som, 1,000 Uzbek som is around 6 to 7 rupees. Then the commercial, 6 to 8 people, 1,40,000. 9 to 10 people, 1,25,000, and 11 to 12 people, 1,12,000. And 5% TCS and 5% GST, which is mandated by the government, that is excluded in the cost. So this is basically just brief of Uzbekistan. I mean, great place, easy accessibility, good food, decent places to stay. It's a very safe place. You could go around at any time. And what I've done this time is that, I've ensured that we stay at center places. City center is close and all that, So in the evening, you can go around, you can do shopping and come back. So because at one or two places earlier, not in Uzbekistan, I've had the experience of going a little further, 3, 4 kilometers away from the city. And then, as a tourist, it becomes difficult for you to get back. So this is pretty much in the city center, the places which we have chosen. And all these are good four-star hotels. That is, I mean, because we generally take four-star hotels and above to have a better experience, right? So this is in a nutshell. Yeah. So I'll stop sharing. One second. Yep. So that is Uzbekistan.